It's another beautiful weekend, and it's time again for TVC's weekly review of trending national issues, Standpoint, and where we dissect issues without sentiment. I am Dakbo Aruajoye. Renowned constitutional lawyer Professor Issa Sadi and human rights lawyer Femi Falana had at one point called for true federalism in Nigeria and political and economic restructuring for a secure and prosperous future. I condemn the current federalism, which people describe as a decentralized unitary system, and that each of both the federal and state government ought to enjoy a measure of autonomy in the true federalism, and that government have horizontal relationships in the federal system of government. Just recently, former President Olusegun Obasanjo said he was in support of the return to regional governance, as it will solve the problem of marginalization in the country. In the studio today, we'll be discussing the need for true federalism, restructuring, and rotational presidency. Will these factors aid the development of this country? You can also join the conversation by calling in when the phone lines are open. My name is Dakbo Aruajoye. We will go on a short break. When we return, I will introduce my guest. Stay tuned. Timothy, just do as he says. There's nothing in.
No, which line is he saying?
Which line is he saying? Which line are you saying?
And you go back downstairs.
Line 3 is what?
It's for the guest.
It's for the guest, okay.
Yes. Line 3 is for the guest.
Are you listening? And
Guest is on line 3.
line 3 is okay. The mine is not okay. Is that what you're saying?
That's it.
Okay.
I just gave you one. I changed from.
He changed. Should he change again? He's making
Oh,
noise.
I'm giving him back 2 again. Back to 2.
Do 2 back. It's good too. Man, are you there now? Dolapo. Ayo. Buhari na be that other guy name, entrepreneur stroke politician. I've not seen him, maybe when he comes in. But that's I'm giving when he comes. Okay, Ahmed Buhari. So are we good now with the audio? We are not good. So what will happen now? So just wear the mic for him once and for my Bombi. Take a go mic for him. Line 124. What's wrong with line 124? No, well done, sir. Pastor Emmanuel. Okay. Nice meeting. Nice. Okay, my Bombi. Okay. So when the other guy comes, you just.
I don't give you line 4 now. No, I don't give you line 4 now. I'm confirmed.
He's giving me line 4. Are we good?
You have given him line 4.
Yeah, are we good now? Change the mic. Okay, we'll change it. Mine, Abi. Change my mic. Hello? Where are you now? Huh? Hello? Hello? Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
Keep that chair there, but the person is up.
So we can still leave the chair there now. So we just sit up for them. So, yeah. We'll just use that. How's it going?
Man, crazy.
I know.
Good afternoon.
You're welcome.
So
We're in a traffic, right?
I just didn't get a chance to use the bicycle. I used everything.
That's Nigeria for you. I tell you.
Yeah, I confirmed the mic.
Yeah, am I good now? Is my audio okay now?
Excellent.
Okay, can you say something, sir?
What?
Good
morning. Is it good? Okay. Is it good? Jesus Christ. I don't know. You respond now. Is it good? It's not still good.
Hello.
Hello.
Are we
I think we are okay. Is Pastor okay? Are we all good? Pastor is good. All right. Okay.
hello?
But Honorable Akonde is saying something now.
Hello?
Okay, it's good. Okay, we wait for Ahmed. Is it good? You say something. Is it good now?
Can you hear me?
Is it good now? No, you're okay. What about him? What about okay, the father. Okay, his own audio is not good.
Which person?
Say something again. Ahmed.
Hi.
He's on cordless fire, cordless line.
I can hear
Line
him
fine.
now. So, welcome back. Let me start by introducing my guest today. I have, from my right-hand side, I have Honorable Victor Akade, a member at Lagos State House of Assembly. Thank you so much for joining us, Honorable.
Thank you.
And also I have Pastor Femi Emmanuel, General Overseer, Living Spring Chapel International Church. Thank you also.
Thank you very much.
And apparently was a former deputy speaker of your State House of Assembly. That's the politics side of it. Thank you so much. And Ahmed Buhari is a young man, is an entrepreneur, and also a politician. Ahmed wants to be the president of this country soon, hopefully, right?
Hopefully.
Good to have you, Ahmed.
Thank you very much.
All right, then. Gentlemen, we're looking at a restructuring in the country. People are hearing this call for restructuring in Nigeria. People are saying maybe that's the solution to the problem we're facing in this country, because we must agree we have problems in this country. Do you think restructuring is the way out?
Well, when you go back to history, you will see that our problems started from the amalgamation that was made in 1914, and when Lagos was made a colony, the British colony, that was around 1846 or so, or 1946. But the bottom line is bringing the Northern Protectorate and the Southern Protectorate together. Are we the same people? Do we have the same ideology? Do we have the same culture? Do we have the same norms and values? These are basically different people all together. And they are now forced, the colonial masters now try as much as possible to force us to live together as one entity. You should expect a lot of problem. And that is the bottom line of the problem Nigeria is facing. And let me tell you, for you to have a restructuring, you'll be talking about the constitution.
But what's restructuring really to you? What's your definition of restructuring?
Restructuring, you see, a constitution of a country is like the biography of that country. And when you say you want to restructure, which means there are some things that are going on that are not right. Maybe the problem, political problems, economic problems, social problems, or any other vices that does not mean well for Nigeria, then you have to look inward. Where did we get it wrong? Trying to restructure is going back to the basis to look onto where
We got
it wrong.
Pastor, what is restructuring to you? A definition of restructuring. And do you believe that's what we need now?
Actually, he just hit the nail on the head. We need to restructure, and I have said this at different times when I have the opportunity to make my own contribution. Like he said, we never really had it good. We just trying to struggle on, and the struggling has come to a level where we are almost breaking down. To me, restructuring is everyone different. Like you said, we are not the same people. Our values are different, our passions are different, everything about us. Like you said, the Lord Lugard of a thing came and just welded us together, and we have experimented this for 56 years or more, and we are not getting it right. So let every region specialize and go for what they have passion for. The Southwest here, we like education, we are into administration, we want development, we want industries. The East, they are people of commerce, they are commercial people, they are manufacturers. The North want to go into agri. Let everyone specialize in the areas of his interest. And let's come together.
Apparently, Pastor, we had this structure before. What happened? Because everything
Well, the
went to
military
federalism.
intervention. We know this, the history of this country. In 1966, we have the first military coup, and they came and brought the unitary system. So what we have now is unitary system in disguise, where 36 governors had to run to Abuja every month with bowl in hand, begging for a piece of the cake, and you bring it down, and it's all sharing, no development. Well, which nation will use 80% of her resources paying salary? And you say we are running the government. So infrastructural breakdown, everything is in disarray. The earlier we go back to, there was this National Conference of 2014.
Yes.
We need to revisit that document and pick out what we think is useful there, and then vote on it and make it a constitutional matter. Like he said, this is where the National Assembly comes in, the Constitution comes in. We must all be sincere and ready to put this nation right. Every other thing we try to do is begging the question. It's, my Bible says if the foundation is wrong, there's nothing you can put on it that will stand. We have a faulty foundation, and every effort is just in futility.
Ahmed, what do you think?
Thank you very much, Dapo. I see it slightly differently from the two gentlemen. The reason is because I've looked at it critically, and I start to backdate it to the 1914 era when the amalgamation itself took place. And there's no doubt in my mind that the colonial masters did that to sort of benefit financially, economically. They had seen that the Northern Protectorate had certain values, certain views, certain economic strength. Same with the East, same with the West and the South, whatever the case was at that time. And for their own personal benefit, they had put everybody together. And the question I keep asking myself, at that point in time, did they benefit from this amalgamation? The answer is yes, they did. There was economic viability, they were enjoying the resources they were getting from Nigeria, and there was sort of bilateral trade among the different regions. What this did in entirety was that it made them richer. And up until the time our own people were able to fight for our independence, we were supposed to seize the opportunity, leverage on that unity or that amalgamation for our own benefit. So no matter what anybody says here, it still goes back to the fact that we still have corruption, we still have resources not evenly distributed, we still have a system that concentrates on certain elites. Because if you look at the system, the political structure or the governance structure, there is representation from every one of these regions. So it still comes back to the fact that if you have representation from all these regions, how come you are not able to defend, protect your people and ensure that their rights are protected, their daily bread is secured? if we do not...
Don't even benefit from their own people all the same. Because
now he's talking about even the region that we have problems. Yes, we have issues, but it's not as aggravated. It's not as strong
As enormous as this.
As enormous as it is. I mean, the Jebu man, the Egba man, the Ekiti man can still.
They can still
because
work
they are
together.
the same people, the same value, the same approach to life. They see things the same way. But the way we are now, we never see things the same way.
What about-
we are not pursuing the same goals.
what about the
we have
instance,
different values.
instance of Kaduna? You have the southern Kaduna, you northern Kaduna. They kill
That is
themselves.
religion.
No,
there are
so
two
that's
forces-
another
there are
factor
two
again.
problems you
Religion
have
is
in
a
Nigeria.
big factor.
No, it depends. Don't like this. Look at South. Let's take Southwest as an illustration. Hardly will you see any family in the Yoruba nation that you don't see Muslim
Yes,
and Christians together.
yes.
They have cohabited together. They are like that. They intermarry. They do their festivals together.
And no problem.
No problem. But the brand of what you see in the north is a different thing. So what you see in Southern Kaduna is a religious ethnicity thing. Those are the two forces we have in this country. Why don't we face the reality? Because it's been all like this and it's getting worse.
It's
It's
getting
getting worse.
Let me get
And
Ahmed
continue
talking
this
also.
way.
Ahmed, what do you think? Because the caller said on Nohe, which should have been confirmed at the CJ, and he has till like February 10th now before the confirmation. Look at what they are saying now, that it doesn't want to be confirmed. I mean, it's not being confirmed now because apparently it's from one side of the country. I'll put the question to you proper after this short break, okay? Let's go on a short break. When we come back, the discussion continues. Don't go anywhere, please. Welcome back. You're still watching Standpoint. And I interrupted Ahmed Buhari to go on that short break. And the question was, look at the non-confirmation of the acting CJN now. People are bringing a coloration to it, ethnic coloration to it. Do you think that's the instance? Because they were saying, okay, that was why the president couldn't even confirm him because we had northerners back to back being the CJN of this. Is that the point?
Well, I would not want to comment on that issue. The reasons are simple. I do not know what criteria has to be followed to choose the CGN. And recently, there's been a serious overhaul of the judiciary.
Yes.
I do not know if that particular individual has a reason to be paid special attention to before the confirmation. This kind of things happen everywhere. Currently in the States, the United States, I know they're trying to appoint somebody in a similar capacity, and you can see how the rigmarole keeps going on and on. The reason why we're seeing it as a big problem here, as opposed to concerning ourselves with whether there's a corruption charges against the individual, whether there's an incompetence level against the individual, we're more concerned about where he's from. See, we have to go back to the roots. I feel bad when I live in Lagos and I'm being asked where I'm from. Because the moment you do that to me, you're already making me feel some inferiority amongst Lagosians. I don't like it. What we're clamoring for, what my generation is clamoring for, is a total overhaul of the system, especially as it concerns state of origin. Where you're from, I fill some forms asking where my local government is from. You ask the local government, tell you where your ward is from. All of those things will not help us.
You think so?
What we should focus on mostly is competence. What have you got to offer? If you look at 30 years ago when the military were in charge, the governor of my state was from Benue. The governor of Lagos was from the north.
Yes.
The governor
military
of
administrators.
so there was a mix, and they performed. In fact, they are outperforming current political leadership that was chosen handpicked by the people. I need us to really critically look at this thing and ask ourselves, do we think that the problem is whoever is in charge, who the president is, what region is from, until we're able to look beyond where the president comes from and agree that this person has the capacity to carry us along.
Yes.
I'll take example with the June 12th annulment. It was a Muslim ticket. We had Bashir Tofa on one side, we have the late Enko Abiola on the other side. And we all voted. In fact, Enko Abiola defeated Bashir Tofa in his backyard, in his own constituency. What this tells us in essence is all we need is truthfulness, sincerity. We need somebody, we need someone we can all look up to and say, I like his views, I like his ideology, I agree with it, and he doesn't really care whether you're Muslim, you're Christian, you're far north, you're far right, whatever. We just need to progress. I keep saying one thing, and we need to be very careful because we're getting to the brink of collapse. If we do not unite, we will never progress.
Can I just add it?
Let me go to him first and I'll come to you.
Let me interject. He said something about we only look at where we come from. We don't look at whether that person is
The competence.
I beg to differ a little bit. And why did I say this? Currently, there are two issues. The present administration, they have SSG, or SFG, and Magu. Now, there is a report that Magu, one thing on the other, happened. And there was another report that the SFG has a problem or a case to answer.
Yes.
And when they now said, remove this person, he said no. This Magu, we are not going to clear him. He said, now, what is the basis? Does it not fall into where you come from?
No.
Does it not fall to
But they were saying
region?
Magu was because of competence also.
If you look at it also, there have been a lot of calls from certain quarters that changed the CBN governor, for example. The CBN governor, a lot of people from different quarters feel he's incompetent. But hey, listen, to be honest with you, to be frank with you, the president is still holding him on there, even though nonetheless.
When there is a report, I want to tell you this. When there is a report indicting somebody, the best thing is to step aside and let us look into it and allow the people or the masses the opportunity to see that you are transparent.
Paul,
push it to the lower house.
Yeah, hi, Paul, from Delta.
Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Your contribution, please.
Okay. I noticed the debate kicked off in the right way with the first man, the maker or something. He said it all started from 1914 at the amalgamation, which is very correct. So, I don't know if I'm black on it.
What did you just say, Paul?
Yeah, so...
What was the question again?
No, I said it has been kicked off in the right way.
Okay.
So now, we are too diverse. This is a country that has about 350 languages
Languages.
in just one country. So you cannot expect to integrate all these people together and have the same common mind and instead of pursue the same goals. There is too much diverse opinions and cultural shocks and religious differences. Like in northern people, there were maybe cultural Bavarians back in the Ottoman Empire back then. While these are the south and the west, they have nothing similar to them. But yet we are called as one country called Nigeria. So to me, it's very important. And if this is rectified, I don't think Nigeria will ever be able to integrate and ever move forward.
All right, then.
This needs to be tackled.
All right, and thank you so much, Paul. Let me go to you now, Pastor. What do you think? Because we're saying Nigeria is broke, and the major problem why Nigeria is broke because we depend on the federal government, everybody, the feeding bottle federalism. Yes, right. But why is it a big deal for each state or each region to develop what they have and dump or put some into the coffers of the federal government?
That's what we're saying. That is what the whole idea of restructuring is all about. Discover your area of strength, your area of advantage, produce, and then pay a particular percentage
to the federal.
The center is too strong. And that is why you see the clamoring, the do or die, the killing of ourselves to be there. Nigeria president is the most powerful president, the strongest president of the world. Everybody has to go to. Look, so let's do something about that. Let's give power back to the region and let them use the resources they have. Nigeria is full of resources. There is no region that does not have what it takes to develop and to grow. But with the military mentality, the unitary system, everybody go cap in hand, and that's why the Niger Delta is what it is. Yes. Because you take all our resources to develop your region, whereas there are enough resources everywhere if the structure and the system allow the people to discover what they have, develop it, and you will see rapid development. There was no oil when Chief Obafemi Awolowo built the cocoa house, the NTA, the university, and some of those structures he put in place, the farm settlements, they are still there. Some of his roads are still better now than the roads that are being. There was no oil when the East was developing, except we wake up and I think we are sincere and we have the will to say this is what is killing us. I was talking about what he is saying is the ideal situation if, but you can't legislate the mind.
You cannot
the mindset is set. He just said he feels bad. He's in Lagos, but the first question is where are you from? And that is us. That is us. And you can't use legislation to change that.
You cannot.
That has been ingrained into our system. So we must know who we are and then fashion a system that will work with the kind of person that we are.
Good afternoon, Mukhtar.
Yeah, my name is Mukhtar Kalli. Kalli, second name is K-A-L-L-I.
All right, Mukhtar. You're calling from Borno?
Mukhtar, yes.
All right, you're welcome.
Yes, I came back from Enugu last 2 days.
Okay.
So I want to speak to you and contribute my own advice and quarterly.
Please do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're live. Continue. What's your contribution?
Good afternoon, good gentlemen of Nigeria.
Thank you. Afternoon.
Mukhtar, they're answering back. We're waiting for you. Your contribution, please. Okay, all right then. Okay, let me go to you now. What do you think? You're saying let's make the center less attractive.
That is the only way. A regional system of government or of governance that will automatically reduce the power around the center. So when you have the different protectorates having their own regional system and sort of, the center just becomes a monitoring body, that is the only way we can move on. But as long as you start saying, oh, I want my region together, that is when you realize that the Biafrans find themselves in a landlocked country, the northerners, or for example, the northeasterners find themselves tilted towards Chad Republic that is about to be captured completely by Boko Haram. I tell you, if the northeast never belonged to Nigeria, they would have been captured by now. That whole area would have been a Boko Haram country,
Caliphate.
and there was nothing anybody can do about it. And you think it's them, it's just there.
Yes.
It is going to trickle down and start infiltrating into other regions of our country.
As a ripple effect.
That is the only way. A regional system of government or of governance that will automatically reduce the power around the center. So when you have the different protectorates having their own regional system and sort of, the center just becomes a monitoring body, that is the only way we can move on. But as long as you start saying, I want my region together, that is when you realize that the Biafrans find themselves in a landlocked country, the northerners, or for example the northeasterners, find themselves tilted towards Chad Republic that is about to be captured completely by Boko Haram. I tell you, if the northeast never belonged to Nigeria, they would have been captured by now. That whole area would have been a Boko Haram country,
Caliphate.
And there was nothing anybody can do about it. And you think it's them, it's just there.
Yes.
It is going to trickle down and start infiltrating into other regions of our country.
As a ripple effect.
That's the ripple effect, because it's not just whether we're able to protect our borders. We're going to have people infiltrating us. We're going to have people coming in thousands and millions looking for where to put their heads. And at that time, we'll realize that we have made a mistake. Because the smaller you are as an entity, the more vulnerable you are to attacks. I've looked at it from every angle. If you look at the western part, it's the same thing. They are bounded to the north by Niger Republic. Niger Republic is the second poorest country in the world with the highest birth rate. They are looking for where to put their head, where to find food to eat. They will find solace in the Sokoto area. They will penetrate through Katsina and they will infiltrate the entire north west.
Can I quickly take Abdul from Niger State? Good afternoon, Abdul.
Good afternoon, my brother.
How are you today?
I want to contribute to your program that you are doing.
All right, and you're welcome.
My contribution goes as follows. For restructuring of Nigeria, are you guys sure that after restructuring with our selfish mind of our leaders, Lagos tomorrow will not stand up and said, Oyo didn't have oil and break them out, or other states again? The only thing we need is to change our mindset, and we should reduce the selfishness in us, especially our leaders. So I'm very sure if we restructure, if all the South come together, those people with oil again will break out later that they are finding their way because of the resources they have. And the other man with the cap by the left-hand side.
Honorable Akonde.
Okay, too. He said that issue of Magu and Babachi, issue in Nigeria, we don't, indictments that they used to do, they are not straightforward in doing them.
Okay.
We realize some that are just witch huntmen.
Okay. All right. All right, and you've made your point. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I just want him to continue and complete your thoughts, please. Yeah. What do you think about what Pastor said earlier about the states now, the region, putting what they have now, giving into the federal?
See, Pastor has spoken very well. And that is where my allegiance actually lie.
Resource control.
Resource control, to an extent. And also, there should be diversification. If you are saying that Cocoa House and other places and the roads that were built by Awolowo are still standing till today, when you look at Lagos, the only thing you see are things that were built 30, 40 years ago. And it brings back to our consciousness that how did those things come about? They were built from agriculture. Yeah.
Yes.
If the North is known to possess that massive land that can take on all of this, why do we concentrate with the produce from the Niger Delta?
But the pyramids, they disappeared at the end of the day.
Exactly. That was because people started looking to the easier route. Okay. And that is why we have to come back and say, okay, fine. Because what that speaker said is actually true. If you do divide this country, every other part would start dividing itself from itself.
Let's take it from there, really.
I want to... Let me just say, Pastor has spoken well, but let me put an addendum to what Pastor has said. The issue of regional is going to be a very big problem, because as Nigeria is having a problem, who is going to head the region is going to be another problem. But all I would say is let each state.
So that will be another problem.
That's going to be another problem.
So that's when you know you are from the north and east of the same region.
Of the same region. Let each state control their resources. If the region comes together, all the governors comes together, let them equally look inward and control their resources.
Like what the Southwest was doing.
In
like
those days.
Odua investments
In those
and
days,
everything.
yes.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, when they control their resources, there will be a competition, a serious competition among the states. They want to do better. They want to do better. Lagos is doing well. What makes Lagos to do well? Let us go and see. We want to do better. And the people will benefit from that. Then they can now look at it and look inward. Okay, let's be contributing some fragment into the center, so that they decentralize the center. Because it is because of the enormosity of, or the volume of money at the center. That was why you are having all these problems. Let's decentralize and let everybody control. You can bear with me. Some years back, the executive controlled the National Assembly. And the National Assembly were unable to work, to function. It is when the National Assembly has autonomy that they now try to function properly. If this, some people might have the good mind to come in and do well. But when the executive hold their hands and they dictate, because they dictate, because they pay the piper, they dictate the tune. At the end of the day.
Another issue worth mentioning in this discussion is the cost of governance. Now, if you say the region will have problems, the region will sort themselves out.
They will.
Because they are of the same people. Don't forget, they are of the same people, the same value. There is no country, Nigeria with 36 states, and Abuja,
but Pastor,
36
you
governors.
remember we had likes of Gongola states. They fought that we don't want to be together. We need we need more states in the state.
Those
and they're from the same place.
Are issues that will be resolved all along. What we are having now, 80% of your resources to run government. There is no way we can develop 36 state governors. They are commissioners.
You have House of Representatives, Senate.
You have Senate. Look at Senate. The Honorable was saying when the National Assembly was granted autonomy or allowed. But look at what is happening in the National Assembly. As the headquarters of corruption in this country. Look at what is happening there.
The headquarters of corruption.
That is the shrine.
Maybe after NNPC.
Where you have corruption brewed, manufactured, and distributed. No, we can't continue that way.
But sir, religion again is another problem in this country.
Oh yes,
religion
because it has been heightened up, religion and ethnicity. Those are the two forces that we are contending with. But I tell you, when we go regional, it becomes manageable.
Okay.
I just told you about Southwest.
Yes.
Muslim, Christian. Have you ever had Muslim taking guns after themselves? Yeah, it has never happened. It will not happen.
We have some few seconds to go. Your last take, Hamid.
Okay. Two or three areas that I think we need to look at critically. Immigration. We need to really critically look at how to, shut down our borders. Most of the problems that we perceive are problems within ourselves and really not within us. We're not the problems of ourselves. Sometimes we allow infiltration, becloud our purpose, and we have to look at that critically. Okay. Secondly, we have to very, very fundamentally understand that when the issue he spoke about, religion and ethnicity, having been big problems amongst us, has to do with the center. We have to start changing the mindset. I keep wondering, where's the National Orientation Agency? What are they doing? How are we trying to pass messages? Like, for example, we just got arms being driven into the into the country a few days ago, and I didn't see any Fulani man around the matter. We need to really be sincere with ourselves, because when we have other people coming into our country and trying to create confusion amongst us only so that they can benefit for themselves, we will never progress.
So what's the third one?
My third one will be that if you are opportune to be in position of authority, you have to be careful what you say and how you say it as regards religion, as regards ethnicity, only so that your followers would actually have a proper mindset of their neighbors.
Wonderful. Your last question.
Are you now saying that we have to jettison the fundamental human right as enshrined in the Constitution? Everybody are free to their own opinion. You have to, as a matter of fact, when something is affecting me, I will invoke the fundamental human rights, the fundamental rights in the Constitution, and I'll speak out. That is that. Okay. But when we have to go now. Restructuring, we have to sit. We have to look into that abandoned report of the Confab and look at what those reports, the ones that are good, we take. The ones that are bad, we throw away.
Right. Thank you very much. Nigerian problem is a structural problem. So let's go to the foundation, restructure, and from there move on.
All right. Thank you so much, Pastor Femi Emmanuel, General Overseer at Living Spring International Church. Thank you so much. And former Deputy Speaker of your state House of Assembly.
Thank you very much.
Ahmed Buhari, entrepreneur, a politician, who wants to be the president of this country. Good luck to you. Thank you so much. Victor Akande, member at Lagos State House of Assembly. I thank you also. And for those that have called, thank you so much. That's our package for today and this week. Next week is another opportunity to join the program again. My name is Dakbo Aruajoye. Bye for now. God bless Nigeria.
It is from that perspective, I'm sorry, we'll keep going around in circles and we'll never get to the answer.
Well, you see, what, the point I took from Hamid was the part that we should restructure ourselves, really, because before we restructure the nation, when you have a nation that is filled with corrupt people, even restructure at the end of the day, the system itself, the system that's talking about you and I, we need to restructure ourselves internally before we think about restructuring the nation. Because even if we balkanize or we put these nations into region, are we sure the same problem we have today will not go to the regions, if you get what I mean?
When you listen to what the pastor just said, he said the Bible tells him that when the head is bad, the whole body and the whole element is bad. So it still boils down to, when we are talking now, we went to the roots. We said 1914. He did not disprove that the problem started from 1914 for the selfish interest of the colonial master.
Yeah.
Which means the colonial master are still the head as at that time. So if you want to restructure, who dictates the pace of restructuring? It is the head. It is the government. And let me correct one insinuation.
But people were thinking, well, why don't we just come to the round table like a
That's what I want to say. That, let me tell you, to be honest with you, the agitation for independence started in 1920, when all the elites, the intellectual mind, came together from Gold Coast, Sierra Leone, Nigeria, and everything, and they met. That is the beginning of Constitutional Conference. Then the next one for Nigeria, the one that actually happened in Nigeria, happened in 1950-51. That's the first time we have Constitutional Conference. That we now say, okay, all these constitution that they've been giving out to us, let us sit down and look inward
and review.
That was the first time we have Constitutional Conference. The second one we want to have that looks like it is the one that was done by Goodluck Jonathan. But I want to tell you this, that The Constitutional Conference, even when we did that of 1951, that brought about the Constitution of 1951.
Yes.
It does not matter. As time goes, things changes. We have to come again and look at ourselves again and see the problem we have and rewrite the wrongs.
But since we don't have much money in the coffers of the federal government now, can we stick to that last confab by Jonathan Regime?
That is the situation.
We should stick to that.
We should call for that constitutional conference, the report of that constitutional conference, look at it, study it, and if the present government said no, then let them start one. We can't continue to live.
Do you know how much we invested in that conference?
You see, Nigeria, we are known not to be prudent.
We waste a
lot of money doing nothing.
Do you think that was nothing?
Hey, listen, somebody already brought up an idea, constitutional conference. We spent so much money to make sure that that constitutional conference happened. The present administration came in and jettisoned that constitutional conference. They abandoned it. What would have even solved more problems that we are having now? They abandoned it.
So they should
because of party politics.
So it should be revisited.
It should be revisited.
Okay, what do you think, sir? Should it be revisited?
I agree with in toto. We don't need another jamboree. We don't need another conference. To me, the 2014 National Conference was more representational, even than the National Assembly that you have now. Because if you know what goes on in politics, majority of the people we sent to the National Assemblies, and the people voted them there. A lot of them were there to represent some interest. But at that National Conference of 2014, you see the large number of people and the factors that brought them together. I believe we don't have to spend money, waste money. Like you said, we are a generation of wasters. We don't have to go back to waste money. We may not have to take everything in that document, but there are enough. Put a committee in place, take out what we need. We know our problems. The problem is that in this country, we know our problems. And we know the solution. But nobody is ready to say, let's go for the solution.
And if you know the problem, yes, really, that's half solved already.
It's half solved. You then now need sincerity and the will, the political will, and the visionary leadership to say, well, even if this does not benefit me, because the problem with us is suspicion. Somebody is saying, why don't we come together? Our coming together is hypocritical. Yes. Because we never trust ourselves. The North will not trust the South will not trust the East. So why don't we get us together at our regions? And somebody just said, the colonial masters brought us together, they benefited from it. It was for their selfish interests, which we know. And that when they left, we could have taken off from there and then start to reap the benefit. There's no benefit you can reap when there is no trust. I mean, look at all our talks about federal character, devolution of power. Those are statements of disunity, of distrust. We never trusted ourselves. And that is what still continues till today. So even there, the earlier we face it headlong, the better. So that the incoming generation will have a place they can call their own. This is not working. It has never worked. It will not work.
What do you think, Ahmed? Should we revisit that, the confab report, the Jonathan administration's confab report? But some people are saying it was just a jamboree. What do you think?
Okay, I see things slightly differently from the two gentlemen, again. And before I say anything, I want to clarify. I want to say something very, very critical. Hate is not the first enemy of love. It is fear. Because fear in itself destroys your ability to trust. The moment you have a preconceived notion about somebody you haven't met or interacted with, you're already on a path to doom, because you believe that he has possible intentions that will not benefit you.
Stereotype.
Exactly. So I have sort of studied the situation, have looked at the Nigerian problem critically, and there's no doubt in my mind, when I look at all of us, I realize that we have the same problems. We use the same roads, we use the same basic amenities, we use the same hospitals, we even worship in the same places, except that the only two things I sort of agree with both men is when he mentioned sincerity of purpose and the revisitation of the confab. I agree with that. Those 2 points are critical. But sincerity of purpose is going to affect even the regions that we will divide into. I have actually done a critical examination of all the regions that we have and tried to see what will happen post-breakup. There is no one region that will last, because unfortunately for us, we have so intertwined ourselves that a separation will be catastrophic. I am from a different generation, maybe. I see things slightly differently. I have friends from all regions, all parts of the country, and I do not perceive that sort of disunity that I hear from my elders. And we want that to change. We want us to start looking at things slightly differently. If we preach love, if we preach peace, then let it relate to our activities as government people or as politicians. If we do not have a way to harmonize our differences, because there are going to be differences all times.
So we restructure ourselves first.
We have to restructure ourselves. We have to restructure ourselves, and then when you look at the regional setup, you find out and you realize that here in the Southwest in itself, we are different. There's a sharp contrast between Ijebus and the Yorubas. Yes. There's a sharp contrast between Ijos and Ishakiris. Same thing with the North.
That's why we have the Ife and Modakeke.
Absolutely. There's a sharp contrast between the Hausas and the Fulanis. None of these people agree with themselves. But what do we have to do to bypass that feeling of disunity? I'll tell you, it's simple. Sincerity of purpose. Whatever this country generates, whatever sort of economic value that we have, we need to let it spread. Once it does not spread, we will keep having this sort of ill feeling amongst ourselves.
Let me interject there. You see, when you say sincerity of purpose, I want to take you down the memory lane, just not too far. Not too far. Let me go a little bit into the political sagacity that has embedded with the APC itself. When they started the change of a thing, you could see that people from the Southwest, Southeast, and what have you, joined hand and co-joined to make sure that the change was realized. But not too far, one of the measures of the change was to change.
It was sidelined.
Sidelined, and that is Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu. Look at the structure. Look at the structure of all the positions in Nigeria. Tell me, are you satisfied? We are one section of the country occupies all the positions.
Is it not a coincidence?
Is it not a coincidence? Listen. You see, I want to take you back to my days when I served in Abia, and other people came from northern region to serve. They were being paid from the federal government coffers, while I was paid nothing. They were still receiving salary, but we from the southeast and southwest and south were made to only live on alawi.
Was it intentional then?
Definitely, it's intentional. What is not general, it is intentional. You see, there is a lot until we sit down to talk on how we are going to live together.
Okay, because where you took us to, really, because it even boils down to who will govern us. I mean, even in the state, you hear, what's it called, the last time in Kogi, you had the Okuns, the Ebiras. There's a whole lot. Even the presidency part of it. Who wants to be the president? You hear the Northern has to be the rotational presidency. Obasanjo is saying now the Igbo man has to be the president.
It boils down to the same thing we are saying. We are not the same people. We don't trust ourselves. The agitation is the president, the head must come from my side. Sometimes I wonder, if you're agitating for the president to come from your tribe, from your own particular region, is it going to be the president for that region or for the nation? I look at the presidential system of government we are practicing. To me, it's deception. We cut and paste. We took it from America. The first thing, when you see two Nigerians talking, when they meet, you talk about when you are serving. The first question is, where are you from?
I'm from
Lagos. I said that's the first question.
Yes.
When Nigerians meet, where are you from? And when you say you are from the east, you are from the west, you are from the north, from that point, the discussion takes a new coloration. There's a mindset.
Can I quickly take the first caller from Ghana?
Please.
Good
Hello?
afternoon. Hi.
Good afternoon.
I didn't get the name again, sorry.
This is Ogwefi Yugo from Ghana.
Okay. You're welcome.
Ogwefi Yugo from Ghana.
You're welcome.
Good. Let me make a contribution to what you are saying.
Okay.
You see, when you talk about restructuring Nigeria, one is very simple. What is good for the East should be good for the Northerners, should be good for those who are coming from the Yoruba side. Simple. In the case of Onege, who is trending to be a Chief Justice, Buhari is sidelining him from being the Chief Justice of Nigeria because of one thing or the other. The structure is very simple. Divide Nigeria into three. Have a central government. Go and work for yourself. Bring tax to the federal. If there are some people that are short lacking, who keep hand into the coffers of the federal to support that people and make everybody equal. Take for example, I was coming from Seme not too long ago. The police officer, instead of asking, are you a Nigerian? He's asking, which state are you coming from?
Wow.
I wanted him to ask me. If he had asked me, I would tell him I'm a Biafran, looking for what he would do. Because all this marginalization and other thing is too much in Nigeria.
I know.
See,
Thank you.
From that.
Okay. Thank you so much for your call. We need to create space for others to call in also. Thank you so much.
So
Pastor,
we
I
are not
interrupted
the same
you.
people. Now, if we are the same people, where the president comes from, should it matter? Is he not coming to serve the nation? Is he coming to serve his own interest? But what you see is that everyone wants his own person to be there for their own selfish reason.
But apparently